Wow, I mean, what an amazing time in history. I mean, we negotiated, all of us, to be here. We negotiated this, and we can't go any longer from the same level of consciousness. And you're going to see many paradigms beginning to collapse because they can't sustain themselves in this new era, and we can't react in fear because it's the very consciousness that created some of these things. We can't react in anger and frustration. It's the same consciousness. It's the same frequency. It's the same energy. We have to move above that to a greater consciousness, and that's how we unify. And look, I mean, when energy makes it to your heart, we studied this. Once you begin to feel love and you start really learning how to self-regulate and you understand the formula, and you feel that, you begin to release high levels of oxytocin. Oxytocin actually suppresses the survival centers in the brain. In other words, when you're feeling oxytocin, you can't be in survival. In fact, you can't. You can't even hold a grudge. The feeling feels so amazing that you don't want to lose the feeling, right? So oxytocin signals nitric oxide. Nitric oxide signals chemicals that causes this center right here. Just like when your sexual organs are aroused and gorged with blood and energy, this center with the same intensity opens up, but it's a different experience, a different consciousness. That same intensity, you feel that intense amount of love. When you feel that, you go from being selfish to being selfless. Now, when you feel energy here, I know this, there's only a few things you want to do. You want to give. You want people to feel the way you feel. You feel like you're so whole you don't need anything any longer. Once energy makes it here, it's got to move up to the brain. I just saw the beautiful studies that we did in one of our events last month. Once there's energy going to the brain, oh my God, it passes through this area here, and you got to express it. You got to vocalize it. You got to be able to let it out and articulate it. So then, if human beings then move from selfish to selfless, and you get hundreds of thousands of people doing this, and everybody's giving to everybody else because they feel whole and they're in a creative state, we're going to come up with solutions from a greater level of consciousness that we have never considered. So, wow, we're waking up and we can't go back to doing things the same. And the whole world is on pause. What a great opportunity for the earth to recover a little bit. What a great opportunity for families to unite again. What a great opportunity for people to appreciate the simple things again. What a great opportunity to teach your children one-on-one because you have the time with them. What a great opportunity to really sit down and learn and read something and have it make sense to you and really embody it and think about what you're going to do with it. What a great time to be in a retreat. So many people have secretly said, I don't really want to go to work today. They've dreamt about that for years. Now they have the opportunity to not go to work from home. Whatever, that's everybody's dream. You could get up, you could do your thing, you have a cup of coffee, you take a walk, take a break, you're in the comfort of your own home. So many people in our events secretly want to have a retreat in their own home. Well, we did an online retreat for thousands and thousands, over 15,000, 16,000 people a couple of weeks ago, so that people could be in their own home and retreat. Well, why not? So the question is, are you going to change into something greater, or are you going to stay the same and wait for it to change so that you're relieved in separation or lack? And yeah, it's not easy, and it doesn't feel natural. But if you're after supernatural, and you believe in potential, then we have to start doing what feels unnatural. And people are starting to do this and seeing that they're empowering themselves in their lives. So we are wired to give. We are wired to serve. We are wired to inform. We are wired to support, to encourage, to inspire. We are wired to heal one another. We are wired to show each other what's possible. This is when a collective species, a living organism all of a sudden starts to unify and does something greater. And we got to just go to a greater consciousness. And as above, so below, as within, so without. And this is what's in front of us. And I don't care whatever the causation, where it came from, I don't care any of that stuff. What I care about is what we're going to do about it. And there's no real other alternative for people when you start realizing that you can control your emotions, you can control your physiology, that you're the creator, you can think outside the box. You should become inspired by what's in front of you and say, okay, I'm willing to go to a greater consciousness, and I will see solutions to the present circumstances from a greater level of mind. I woke up the other day and I said, okay, what do I believe in? I asked myself, well, what do you really believe in? So then if you believe that you create your life, and this is in front of you, okay, well, this is what we all negotiated and what we created. And the other thing I started thinking about is, my goodness, if I truly believe that I'm eternal and I understand it intellectually, if I truly believe that I'm eternal, then I'm going to go all in. I'm not going to be victimized by this. I know we're faced with challenges every day with the way we have to reorganize events and all the things that are changing. But I'm just going to keep staying in that creative state. And if I'm eternal, then I'm going to go all in. If I believe that to be the truth, and I'm going to say, wow, what a great experience. Wow, what a great ride that was. If everybody thought that, and we started to be empowered by that thought, we'd be less fearful. We would be less controlled. We would be more, we fell from singularity. We fell from source, pure love, down into density, fooled into the illusion of separation, which is totally cool. We became when we were one, the other question is, can we be many and be so separate from singularity, from source, that we have our own individuality, our own free will, disconnected from the all, from the one, to experience this gift called life? Well, now more than ever, if we're wanting to apply the principles, we are going to have to unify to that field. And the quantum physics says that everything that's physical and material is connected by this unifying energy, and people don't think that they have access to it. Well, if all of your attention is on the material world and you're focusing on matter, reality is both particle and wave, matter and energy. If you're unaware of the quantum field, you could intellectually understand it, but if you're unaware of it, it doesn't exist for you. And you could have all the dinner conversations in the world, but someone says, I want to put my attention on it. I want to stay present with it. I want to experience it. I want to surrender to it. I want to become more of it and less of me. I want to lose my individuality, my separateness as a consciousness, and keep practicing, connecting with it. I tell you, you keep practicing that, you're going to run into it. And when you do, there's going to be an arousal. We've seen this. I guarantee you that you will stop looking in your outer world for that feeling that you've been looking for your whole entire life when you realize it's coming from within you. And you'll start believing that there's some invisible intelligence that you are an extension of. And people, when they have their first taste of this, it is the most familiar, unfamiliar feeling that they've ever had. And they get insights, they get downloads, they have new ideas, they see possibilities, they have mystical moments that cause them to never be the same. Now, give a person one or two of those, and it transcends religion, it transcends culture, it transcends tradition, it transcends medicine, it transcends psychotherapy. In fact, we have many physicians and psychotherapists have that moment and say, I never knew it could be this good. Well, what happened? You applied a formula to prove to yourself that you are connected. Now, that collective consciousness that does this properly will emerge unified in love, and they will not be able to deceive one another, to lie to one another, to manipulate one another. You can't do it in that state. Hold a grudge. They will forgive, and they will be creators and creating from a greater level of consciousness. And it doesn't matter. I can tell you, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how sick you are, how healthy you are, what you eat, the color of your skin, how much money you make, where you were born. I've seen it on all shapes, sizes, colors. Nobody is so special to be excluded from the phenomenon. So, hey, we're here. Whatever the causation, whatever the circumstance, This is a time to unify as a collective, and social distancing and all that stuff, sure, that's all important, but we don't need to see one another to connect. We can connect when we open our hearts and we know how to apply brain and heart coherence, and wow, now you're empowered. And the practice of doing this is no different than anything you practice. You keep doing it, you're just going to get better at it. And that's what I want people to do, is step out in their life in a greater level of consciousness and stop believing that they're limited. Stop unconsciously thinking something out there is going to get them. Whoa, that's a lot of that's a lot of limitation. And it doesn't say to not be careful. I'm just saying that I wouldn't give my power away to that. I wouldn't give it away. And if I'm eternal, well, this is a time to actually try it out, to demonstrate it, to see if it's true.